Hey, happy Saturday, everyone. For Lifers, hope you all are doing well. Getting started with a review. It's been a while. I've been super busy at work. Aside, if you're into IT project management and Scrum mastering, let me know. Hit me up in my Discord. Hey, Robot Show Tunes, how's it going? So this is Fantasy Jewel Red Belt Robot. So this is a Dragon Ball Figuarts kind of scale. It says 1/12 scale figure. And if you guys don't know, this is actually from like old school Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z or Super or GT. Hey, Miglu G. Yeah, so this takes it way back when Goku's still a kid, like this, right? So he's fighting the Red Ribbon Army, who's been kind of a staple antagonist in the past, this organization, recently back in Dragon Ball Super and everything like that. But this goes back to one of their early team members called Staff Officer Black. It was like one of the most racist, stereotypical things. I mean, remember, this is like the 80s, I think. But yeah, he was a black dude, and he was in the army, and his name was Black, and he had, very stereotypical features. With that being said, we're talking about the robot that he pilots when he fights Goku at some point. So yeah, this box is quite huge. I got this from Toy Dojo. This is available on their site for only $65, and given how big it is, I'd say it's a pretty good deal. So you can see the back. You actually see the back of the robot itself and the sides. But yeah, out of this, you don't get like any instructions because there's really nothing to this figure. It's just a big figure. Hey, Enyo's World. If you guys don't know, he also has his own channel. He's been posting like daily a bunch of stuff. So if you're not a subscriber, at least check out his channel. He's really grinding. It puts me to shame. He's definitely a friend of the channel here. He's in our Discord. So this is it. You comes out of this big plastic clamshell. Oddly, it was stapled. I've never seen clamshells stapled before. But yeah, this is it. And if you guys don't know Fantasy Jewel, they've done a lot of KO stuff. I know they've done a KO of the Solo Chogokin Voltron, which apparently was quite good and so forth. Much cheaper. So I don't know. This is my first figure with them. But it is just an action figure, just to give you an idea of how tall this is compared to standard, like, I guess, Goku-esque Figuarts characters. Take a look at him next to Goku Black. And then, what else do we have? Oh, we have him next to Kid Goku. Next to, I guess, a Transformers figure, just so you can see how big it is. This is the Voyager Optimus that we recently reviewed. All right, so we'll get all these out of the way. The whole thing about this is that this was called originally the Battle Jacket, and there were a couple of them. They really only came out in Dragon Ball with the Red Ribbon Army. I think they had some flashbacks. I was Googling if they ever used it again, and they had various colors. But he does have a little seat here. I don't think we have ever had a Staff Officer Black because he's such a minor character figure. But you can put in any kind of Goku-esque type figure as long as his hair is not too big. I try to put in Super Saiyan Goku, and this wouldn't close because the lid would the hair was interfering. But you can see you can pilot it. If your character has actually fists that can hold like staffs or weapons, you can actually put this on here. But this is actually just a random return that defect that Toy Dojo got, and they sent it to me, and I've had it ever since. It's just been sitting on my desk, so it's a random Figuarts figure. But the figure itself looks quite nice. It's very accurate to the show. This nice purple color. Some of it is painted, so most of the main body here is painted. To be frank, it's not the best paint. Are some like rougher areas here. The lines on like the paint on the letters and even the red ribbon symbol itself and the vents aren't the cleanest, but again, you're paying $65, so for such a big figure. You got some bolts here. You get the Red Ribbon Army stuff in the back. I thought he actually jumped in from the back, but maybe he jumped in from the top. I don't remember. He does have some silver paint on along the thighs. He has his little booster area here. It's not hollow. This moves a little bit, so I thought there might be some articulation to it, but I don't think so. He has some additional details and bolts and stuff there. He does have a little bit of die cast or metal along the feet here. So these silver parts are actually metal. This is also metal, as is the handle here. But yeah, he's quite big. Let me actually get a tape measure to see how tall this thing stands. It stands right about 13 inches tall when standing straight up. He is... Hey, T-Man. I'm eating, though? Wow, I thought I missed this live. No. No, I'm surprised he joined and watched this one. This is kind of a random one. He's about 11 inches wide. And then as far as thickness, he's about 5.5 or so. As far as articulation, again, so this figure itself has some ratchets going out to the side and rotationally. His shoulder pauldrons do get in the way a bit, so when you raise the arms that way. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, but he does have a big ball jointed elbow. So it doesn't give you that much range in terms of like 90 degrees. It gives you about, maybe 35, 40 degrees or so. Has some details here. His hands are also on a big ball peg. We can rotate around. It would have been nice if you could had a joint here so that you can get the hand all the way back or curled all the way forward. His fingers are probably the best part of this figure. You're eating IHOP. He has ball pegged thumb that can come into the palm area here. He also has a hinge and another hinge there. The tolerances are quite good. He also has ball pegs on each of the individual 3 fingers here. So again, they can come towards the palm. I wish they had designed it a little bit different, because you basically only get like hinge and rotation. You don't get a lot of splaying out. But again, 2 more joints of articulation for each of these. And they are actually different. So it looks like these 2 are the same, and then this one is slightly longer. So they did go out of the way to mold a longer middle finger. Speaking of which, you can do that if you want, obviously. But we're not children, so we're not going to dwell on that too much. Coming to the hips here, there's no like waist or anything articulation. His hips also are ratcheted. Go out to the side. They hold pretty well. It is quite a heavy figure for what it is. So again, another choice to do a ball jointed knee section. He does have a little bit of movement in this kneecap, which I don't really know why they decided to do that. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose. It does have a double hinge so you can get this up and down, but it doesn't need to get out of the way of anything. So maybe just to kind of cover up the joints. That's the only reason I can think of. And then coming down to the feet, he does have ankle tilt. You can see a little bit of metal die cast that is the ankle joint here. So he has tilt, and then he has a separate hinge rotational joint to get forward. He gets a little bit of down tilt, but not a lot. So yeah, let's see. I did show how tall he is. I didn't show how heavy he is. So let me take out Goku Black real quick. In grams, this figure stands at 864 grams, which is the equivalent of 1 pound, 14.5 ounces. So almost 2 pounds in this figure itself. I do find it to be pretty accurate. I wish it had a little bit more paint in some areas. Like I said, mostly just the main body here is painted and the shoulders, but I don't think the arms at all are painted besides the silver detail. Same thing with the legs besides the silver detail. And then you get a bit of swirling. Usually get a lot of swirling in like grayer plastics, but you definitely see swirling in the lower legs, especially on both legs, which doesn't look great, but I think it's fine. Again, for $65, I think it's a pretty good deal. You can't even get like a SH Figuarts like small figure for $65, but it is super niche, right? Because again, it really was only piloted by a character which we don't even have a SH Figuarts figure for. Maybe there's a third party or KO something like that that does one, but I haven't seen it. But otherwise, it's a pretty fun figure. It can be a little difficult to balance because the hips have a little bit of play into them, but he stands quite well. Just be careful with some of the posing you do. So you can get out pretty wide, but he can start sliding. TM Reviews did a quick tip on his Facebook page about like putting some of these like rubber stickers on the bottom of feet. This looks like it's rubber, but it's not. That would actually probably help this figure stand a little bit better. And they're like super cheap. You can get them on Amazon and other places, even probably like Walmart and stuff like that. But in and of itself, I think for a $65 big robot, if you're a big Dragon Ball fan, it's for your collection. I think this is really designed for you. Me personally, I probably wouldn't pick it up just because I haven't even looked at any of my Figuarts figures in such a long time. And again, it mostly makes sense for a character that is super minor, and we don't even have a figure for him released yet. So, show the back again? Yeah, sure. The back is very simple. That ankle looks loose. The ankle is not bad. It's mostly like the I would say the ball joint. Again, ball joints aren't the best. Yeah, the ankles I think are fine. But because you don't get as much tilt, I think like the hips, because of the play in them, that's probably the weakest part of this figure. Same thing in the arms here. You can see there's a lot of play between the joints. I'm not an engineer or toy designer. I don't know if there's maybe a way to tighten this up with a stronger spring or something like that. That might be a solution. But again, for a $65 figure, I'm not going to complain too much. Yeah, the Enyo says the ball jointed knee is such a random choice. Yeah, I think it's really. Hey, Alex B. I think it's really just for cost savings for the most part, and maybe for just show accuracy. I don't know, but in any case, it's a fun figure to have. But again, it's very niche. I'm curious as to why they chose to do this robot though. Again, it just seems very random. But again, if you're a Dragon Ball, old school Dragon Ball fan, this could go with some of your other figures. Other characters that could possibly pilot this are like Tao Pai Pai. He was also part of the Red Ribbon Army. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else that's in the Red Ribbon Army? I mean, Dr. Giro. So, yeah, I think it's pretty limited in terms of characters that make sense with, but he works fine with most characters as long as they're not Super Saiyans with the long hair. It would be cool. It is kind of cool because we don't have a lot of old school Dragon Ball figures, I would say, that he can battle with. I mean, he has like Piccolo and like Tao Pai Pai, but not a lot of others. I guess his buddies who become future allies, his early villains or antagonists that become future allies, like Tien and Yamcha. But having an actual villain would be nice. So, all right, I think that's it for today's review. I'm actually probably going to jump right into another one, a very quick one, because I want to do a review of this KO Lego question mark box, which I did a series of time-lapse shorts on. So I'm probably going to just end this one and jump into another one unannounced. So if you guys want to stick around, I'm going to go in to do that because that is a very fun set. All right, thanks everyone. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Okay.